Welcome. Good evening. I'm Miss Jill, and this is In the Know. We always talk about the village, how we need the village. Where has the village gone? Tonight in the building, we have an organization, a local organization of gentlemen who are here to talk about the village. Not only here to talk about it, but they understand the need, and they are here for it, figuratively and literally. So I want to start by introducing Building Kings Mentoring Group. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We have a couple of the many that are involved. I think we have, 7 with us this evening total? Six?
Yep.
So 2 gentlemen are on set with us. I want to introduce them first. First, I have Mr. Reed Paris. Welcome.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. And Mr. Philip Gibson. Welcome.
Welcome. How you doing?
Good. V, good evening.
Thank you.
So let's start with you, Mr. Paris. What is your affiliation with the Building Kings Mentoring Group?
I'm the program director.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Gibson?
I'm the coordinator.
The coordinator. Okay, perfect. So before we get into this, let's talk about what is Building Kings Mentoring Group, and where was it birthed? Where did this come from?
The idea started. We're a youth mentoring organization. We're focused on empowering young men by offering them valuable opportunities to discover various career paths, and we equip them with various opportunities. We equip them with essential skills that they need to pave way for their future moving forward. Our primary objective is to instill the principles of manhood while presenting role models who exemplify these ideals. We started in 2023 out of the Dream Center, spring of 2023. Mm-hmm. It was just me and the assistant program director at the time. The idea for it came, we both had teenage boys. They were struggling with their different struggles at their age that they might have been dealing with at their age, and for my son, he was kind of going off the rail a little bit. So to gather him back, we were thinking of ideas and what would have taken for us at that age to bring us back to some positivity. So the answer to the question was it would have taken the same thing that it took when we were at that age, because we come from the same similar backgrounds, a lot of the boys that we deal with. And it's the lure of being in the gang, the lure of the drug dealers in the community, the guys who get the women and the money. We with this program.
I'm sorry, I had to laugh a little bit because I want to make sure I'm hearing this clear. You said the guys
that they see us getting the women and the money.
Those were the people you need to be like.
Yeah, those are the.
Okay.
You got. Okay. You're gonna be attracted when you don't have the structure and you don't have the man in your the presence in your life. You're gonna be lured kind of one of the directions. And sometimes it was the gangs that it wasn't necessarily the violence or things that come with that. It's the sense of being around a family, the feeling of a family. A lot of the boys when they're younger, a lot of us when we're younger, we say things like we'll ride for our brother. These are our brothers. So the feeling of being in a family is what the gangs offer. And then when you look at the neighborhood drug dealers or the people that get the money in the neighborhood, it's that sense of something to look up to. So what we offer here, we have entrepreneurs as our mentors. We have plant managers, everyday guys with just everyday jobs, and we offer that. We when they come and when we accept the boys in, we are actually giving them a sense of belonging. Right. We're their brothers, the big brothers, the uncles, the cousins. So.
You're giving that element of what you just spoke of that they're going to get over here.
Yes.
So because we're all teachable, right? So if you're not teaching them, someone else is teaching them.
Exactly.
So I love that. And to back up a little bit at the beginning where you basically said, I want to be who I needed back then.
Yes.
I want to be who I needed.
Yes, and that's the most important part of it. It's what did we need, what would it have taken. I know for me, I'm just speaking on my childhood. I come from a single mom. She did her best as a single mom to take care of me and my siblings. She worked 2 jobs most of the time, so that allowed us to get into things that she had no idea we was getting into. But for just coming from that background, without the father figure there or the presence of a male figure there, and the mom that really doesn't have the time to raise us and instill the things into us she needs to. She's taking care of us, but she didn't have the time to instill things into us. So it just left me looking to the streets for those different things.
Yeah,
so
sure.
It was easy for me to fall under the wings of certain individuals, because I had nothing else, outside of my mom. So
Absolutely.
What we offer is that, and we're not just offering it. We're tracking down the boys at the same time.
Well, and that.
Yeah.
I was just going to say before he leaves that point, he was talking about, in praises to mom, doing the best she can with the siblings, everybody. But I want to just go into your personal zone for a second, because ultimately there's choices, right? Can I ask, around what age were you when you decided, I can't get what I need in this house? It's not at school. What age are we talking?
We are talking middle school ages, so maybe 12, 13, 14.
Okay,
in that
boom.
age range.
Okay, because a lot of times parents are in denial as to what age their children start going to the left and getting into mischief, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they, not all of them, so respect to the parents, not all of them, but some parents come home from work and they go detour to whatever, the room, the basement, whatever they got going on, because sometimes they feel like their kid is all right because they don't see it. They feel like their kid is doing all right.
No,
so you
absolutely.
said something, you said middle school. It's not high school. It's middle school and probably even younger.
Yeah.
When a child starts to look for that place where they belong or they fit in.
Yes.
And I think it's even worse now. The kids are much younger now because of social media and the access to all of these visions of what can be. So I think it's much more difficult as far as when I was younger, because we didn't have a lot of that. You go outside and you see it, but now they can just pick up their phone and they see all the things.
Literally.
Yeah.
So
Literally. Yeah. I want to back up to something that you said. So you mentioned several things. So you talked about entrepreneurship, a sense of belonging, mentorship. So I want to move to Phil and ask, all of that sounds absolutely beautiful. But how are you implementing that into your program? If you can add to that, how are you implementing entrepreneurship, a sense of belonging, mentorship?
So I think the first thing is we wanted to do was disarm the young men. So when they come in, we talk to them not from a level of superiority, but from a level that, hey, we've been where you're going if you keep on this path.
Yeah.
And then the first thing we do is we tell them, we give you our respect. Because a lot of people say you have to earn respect, and that's not the way we think. We think we give you our respect. Your job is just to build on it.
I like that.
And when you do that, we have seen the young men become more receptive to everything else that we're telling them, because they're not coming in the door saying, oh, I got to earn my respect, or you're going to respect me. They like, well, he gave me respect.
Yeah,
now what?
there.
What do I do now? So how we build on that is we reach out to other men in the community that we know are trying to make a difference, even if it's just trying to make a difference in their family or their, like their immediate family or their nephews and stuff. We reach out to them, and that's what Reed did. He reached out to me in that, because we knew each other for years. He actually worked for me at one point in time, and I was the guy who got on his nerves and always say, look at the bigger picture. And at that time, he really didn't understand it, but now he does, and that's how he came to me, like, hey, I understand what you were saying now. And so when we talk to the young men, we talk to them from that same point of view, like there's a bigger picture.
Yes. Yes.
A bigger picture, a better picture.
A better
I like,
picture,
yeah.
yes.
Can I add on?
Yeah,
that
go
a little
ahead.
bit?
Yeah.
And a part of that structure, the program is a 3-tiered program, so
Okay.
it's a year-long program. Each tier is 16 weeks. So, and the first tier is a lot of what he said. We dive into breaking down that guard, We get into their goals. We get into their thinking. We get them to understand why they think the way they think, different ways of thinking. We just basically open up their mind. We're gaining their trust, and there's a mostly classroom type setting. So our mentors, us ourselves, will speak on various different topics, or we'll have speakers come in that have experience in those topics. And we meet Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. every Saturdays are kind of mandatory meetings. And we do activities with them throughout the week as they come up. But those are our main meetings. And after Tier 1, there's a graduation to where they graduate into Tier 2. Tier 2, we dive more into the careers and job aspects. So that's where we introduce, we work with a list of different companies that will host and different various career paths. And they will host and give the boys a tour of the facility, speak to them about how they can actually get into the field from even where they are at their age now, or things they can do from that age to start working towards that field. And if there's hands-on experience available, they'll get them hands-on experience.
I love that.
And then we're graduating to Tier 3, where we actually, Tier 3 is more about stepping into action, where we're taking roles. They step into positions. We're trying to make it peer-driven as possible with Tier 3. So that's where our Tier 3 boys get an opportunity on multiple classes to be able to come back and pour into the Tier 1 boys from their experiences. We help the boys that are going from middle school transition to high school to college, the ones that are going into the workforce. We help them with those things, resumes, applications. Wherever they are, we just try to meet them there and help them to move forward, and we encourage them after the program ends to stick around as junior mentors to help pour back into the program. So we got a few, like I said, we've been going since 2023, so we got a few that are junior mentors now, and they help us do exactly what we're talking about.
There's something that you said breaking down their guard. So I had talked to Roderick Parker from your organization.
Good guy, that's right.
The last few weeks, and he had mentioned maybe stop by, watch one of the workshops. Well, I couldn't make it out, so what I did was I watched some of the videos, and I want to bring up something that I saw. So I'm going to call it kind of like a display. I don't know what you would call it, but you had the gentleman, I think, write down something on a piece of paper, something that they wanted to throw away, something they wanted to rid themselves of. So I watched a couple of the gentlemen come up, and they had something written down, and I believe they crumbled it, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, but you had them read what was on that paper.
Yes.
So for a young man of that age, for one young man, let alone several, to get up and do that is a big deal. I would say that is the breaking down the guard right there. Because for one, to admit the things that we need to let go of, even as grown adults, that's not easy. Then to do it in front of a room of strangers, in front of peers that are our age, that is huge. So let's talk a little bit about some of the, some of the, I don't know how I want to say this. I think his was letting go of, I can't
Some
remember.
of the challenges they face.
Yeah.
That Jamarcus, Jamarcus Wilson was also here, one of our mentors. That was his idea.
Okay.
And the theory behind it was to get them recognize something that they needed to work on that was a negative part of their life. And there was a range of things: anger, talking back to the parent, no patience, a range of things. So by writing it down, you are recognizing that is the problem. By verbalizing it, you're saying it and you're hearing it. And then one of the big things that we do as an organization, not just with the kids, but with each other as mentors, is we hold each other accountable. And we say that all the time. I'm holding you accountable. And when I say that, that's a truth moment. So I can tell you something that you need to work on, or something that I've seen that maybe it's not right.
Yeah.
And that's what Jamarcus was doing in that moment. So that we can hold each other accountable. And not just the mentors holding the young men, but the young men hold each other accountable.
Yes, it was awesome. It was a really cool moment. To see, because I felt the vulnerability. Because like I said, as adults, that's even hard for us.
Yes.
So I would say this young gentleman that I particularly watched was probably 13, 14. I may be a little off, but that's hard. So I thought that was an awesome exercise and just an awesome display of, like you said, breaking down that guard.
Yes.
And before you leave that point, you saying that was awesome, that was beautiful. Before we came on, I was talking to you about, first of all, the name. I'm saying Building Kings, so I'm saying there's power in the name, right?
Yeah, you were.
So what I see, Building Kings, I was talking about when people are building buildings, you have to look at the foundation. The foundation matters. And so I was talking about when they get ready to build the Kings, each foundation that they are presented with is obviously going to be different. And so he was talking about that. That's why they start where they start. So they have to build the foundation in the person first. And so I just want to say, whoever came up with that thought and the name, all of that, that is brilliant. But to even care about people, you know how they say recycle. We recycle everything else but people.
Yes.
And so a movie called Forge, I just have to put it out there because it's popular right now. And if you haven't seen it, you need to see it.
Yep.
And I was telling these gentlemen that they remind me of that movie. So if you haven't seen it, you have to see where the men are helping the men. And I mean, it's all types of men from all walks of life.
Yep.
Diversity, everything you can think of is there. I love it.
Yes.
I just want to know. So we're graduating, we're moving forward. What does the family support look like for these young people that you guys move from one point to the next? As they level up, do they have the support at home from family?
I think in some cases they have an initial support, but that's one of the things that Reed has really. That's one of the ways we've gotten next to the parents is because we're saying we're not replacing you. We are coming to support you.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to become your extension. And so even though we talk about the young men, what we want everybody to understand it is not just for the young men.
Okay.
It is for grown men. We mentor each other as mentors. We
Yes.
get together and we have talks and we go through what's going on in our lives. And just recently we had a meeting with the parents. Well, they would ask us questions, most of them being single mothers. How do I deal with this issue? How do I deal with that? And they call Reed or Rod every day. Hey, my son's got this going on. And when they come to the meetings, they have to get up in front of everybody and tell what that is, whether it's good or bad. You have to stand up and say your name and say, this week I got in trouble in school.
Accountability.
And this is what happened. And that's the accountability that we do. And so that strengthens, and you talk about foundation. The beautiful thing about the way that Reed has formed this organization is that we usually think of foundations as being a family, but we're thinking of foundations as being the whole community. So we want to build all the foundations so that no matter what, this house can't fall because the foundations around it is going to be strong. So that's what we're doing to try to build the kingdom.
Living when we say stronger together.
Yes.
So yes. I love that.
So we need to talk about, for one, if somebody's watching and they're saying, I want to get into this, or I want my son to get into this, or my grandson to get into this. We need to talk about how someone gets involved, is the two-part, how someone gets involved, and also how can the community get involved? What help do you need? What support do you need from the community?
I'll speak on the boys
Get
part.
involved.
You
Okay.
speak on the community. So as far as getting your child involved, right now, social media has been our biggest friend with that. Like the same way that you look and you seen us on there, a lot of people reach out to us that way.
Okay.
But all of our mentors, you can sign up through any of our mentors. They understand and they got every bit of knowledge about the program to be able to do so. Even from our social media platforms, with as far as the mentors' personal platforms, you can call one of our numbers. I got business cards. We have business cards where you can reach out to any of us. Stop by the Dream Center through the day sometime. So there's various different ways of reaching out. We're on Facebook, Instagram, those two platforms for now.
Okay.
And we're working on the website.
What are there age requirements? Is there a cost for the program?
So the program is absolutely free.
Free, okay.
Absolutely free. And the age, so we do have an age that we push towards,
Okay.
and that's 12 to 18, but we want them all.
Gotcha.
So we have 9-year-olds and we have 19-year-olds.
Okay.
So we can't turn down a parent who's trying to get a 9-year-old involved if they're mature enough. So that's what makes the difference, if they're mature enough at that age, because some 9-year-olds may be as mature as 13-year-olds.
Understood.
So,
Yep. Understood.
I was gonna say, and you said that, but I can't help but there's some guys that's older. I just
That's
want to
not-
know.
yeah.
I'm just getting ready to tell it. He maybe 29 and 30. He's still trying to get it together. He's still out there in these streets doing crazy stuff, right?
I'm gonna let
So
him-
then,
he gonna speak on that part. He gonna speak on those guys. and that part too.
So again, bring them. We are challenging the community, and I say this again: we are challenging the community to make our job hard, because it's not hard right now. We love doing it, so it's not hard. We want everybody. Yes, we do have an age range that we start with, but we are starting to get 19, 20-year-olds that are coming and saying, hey, I'm entering the workforce. How do I do that? And so we're going to help them. And again, the mentoring program, we're going to try to change the way people look at it, because it's going to be cradle to the grave. That's our eventual goal. It's cradle to the grave. Reed and I don't want to get to be 60, 70 and not be involved.
Sure.
We want to be getting buried and the next generations are involved, and it continues to grow, and we're challenging. So recently we just started building the groups within there. So we have the older young men, like the 16, 17, 18-year-olds, and we had them go and pick one person out of each group younger. So we split them up, so they have about 4 kids per. The older is responsible for his group. And being responsible means you check on them throughout the week. You know them, you learn them, and then if there's a problem that you can't solve or you don't know how to solve, you come to us, to the mentors, and then we deal with them, especially on the Saturdays or through the week if they need tutoring, because we have kids in there that have 4.3 GPAs, and so we had a kid in there who was having a problem with math. Well, he said, I'm having a problem with math. Well, instantly we had 3 other kids. So, okay, well, I can help. That's what we want. And I think the hardest thing for a lot of people to understand is, as a man, it's hard to say I need help.
Yes.
Well, we are trying to wipe that out.
Okay.
We want them to feel proud to ask for help, because we want everybody to want to jump in and help them
Sure.
when they ask. So if they're 29 years old and they want to come in, now we do have a vetting process dealing with mentors. Not to say that we think anybody's better than anybody else, but we want to make sure that they're solid in their
Same.
Yeah, of
foundation
course.
and their healing. And then moving forward from that, we're going to transition them to help more. But the one thing you can do as a grown man is show up. Even if you don't talk, you don't want to do any of that, show up. Bring a bag of chips, bring some juice. They're kids. They love to eat. So, they're growing boys. So, that's how you can help add to the community.
I know we have some gentlemen in the back that we wanted to recognize because we couldn't fit everybody up here. So before we kind of wrap things up at the end, do you have some people in the back that you would like to mention?
Yes. So we got. Let me give a shout out to my boy. No.
Yeah. Now that's how we do it.
We do it like that.
Go.
ahead.
We got in the back. We got Mr. Jamarcus Wilson. We got Mr. Paul Williams. Mr.
I think they should come out. I think they should come out.
Well,
right
let
now.
them out.
I definitely
Okay, let 'em out, let 'em out.
Let them out. And I'm gonna say the last name first, Mr. Aaron Boone.
Okay.
Come on out.
All right.
And let's not
All
forget,
Yeah, I was gonna say we got other mentors too as well. We got
Okay.
Mr.
Here they go.
Yep, you're good.
Yeah, come on through.
So we got
this is like the NBA draft up in here.
So our guys that
NBA
couldn't
draft.
be here today is our assistant program director. He couldn't be here, unfortunately. That's Mr. Brandon Sampson. We have Mr. Andre Hicks couldn't be here today. Javon King couldn't be here today. Mr. Dalen Banks couldn't be here today.
Man, I know all of them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So all
Cordell
good guys. All good
Cordell.
guys. Yes.
Great, great.
Cordell.
Mr. Cordell Hurst.
Okay.
So because it takes
Awesome.
a village, truly, right?
Yes.
It takes a village. So, you know, you guys can stay here for a minute. But I want to ask both of you first, Phil, you know, I know what you do. I know what your profession is. I know that you're a busy person. So when Reed came to you and asked you if you wanted to do this, there were probably 100 reasons that you could have said no.
I was scared. he was
I
gonna
want to
say
know. I want to know why you said yes.
There was two main reasons why I said yes. Number one is because it was needed. You've known me professionally. I've tried this from the adult angle, and when Reed came to me, the first thing I asked him was about the money, because so many times people get in it for the wrong reason, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't gotten involved in a lot of different programs in the community, is because I don't want it to be about the money ever. Don't get me wrong. I understand it takes money to run this and to get things done, but I want to be around a bunch of people who want to do this for the betterment of the community. So that was the main reason why it was easy for me to say yes. And yes, I am a very busy man running a company, and I have grandkids and kids to be around and sports to go to. But it was an easy yes after that point and having that conversation with him.
Absolutely.
And I think one of the main things that he said to me was, man, you were right about some things. And that takes a lot
Yes.
for a grown man to come to me and say, hey, you were right. I didn't see things the way that you was trying to show me. So that made it easy for me to say, I'm right here for you.
Perfect.
Wow.
Perfect. It's funny how sometimes we do realize that somebody was right.
Oh yeah.
Somebody was right.
Oh yeah.
You know, and like you said, the money. Let's talk about the money. So if somebody's watching and they want to help, they want to donate, they want to throw some money your direction, how can they do that? Can they do that? Is there a way that they can do that?
I should have asked this tomorrow. So
Tomorrow?
yeah, because tomorrow we'll actually finalize and have the actual donation button and the QR
Okay.
code.
So it's coming.
Yes.
So yeah.
It's coming. So if they
right now they can just reach out to
Okay.
one of the mentors, and we'll get them to the right person.
or keep an eye on your social media, your Facebook, because I'm sure that information will
it's
be
gonna,
there.
It's going to pop up.
Right, because when I say it takes a village, even if you don't have children, even if you don't have young men, the community is the community. So the more beautiful the community, the more beautiful it is for every single one of us. So if you can help any organization, please do so. We ask you to do so. So keep an eye on the Building Kings Mentoring Group, their Facebook, their social media. Keep an eye on them, period. Big round of applause for you guys, because all of you were invited to do this, and all of you standing here said yes,
Yes.
regardless of the reason. So we thank you. One last thing, we talk about men needing help, not asking for help. How do you guys, if you're mentors and you're trying to teach gentlemen how to be gentlemen and how to navigate this life, how do both of you recharge? How do both of you make sure that you are at your very best?
So like Phil said,
Each other.
He said we don't. Wrong answer, Roger.
I mean, like Phil said, we do that with each other.
Yes.
Yeah. I think
So
so.
this I told them, was that last night we talked on our meeting. So I told them last night that this is turning into my circle.
Yes.
You know, so it's I mean, not to say I don't have other people, but these are people that I talk to a lot more these days. We can confide in each other. And Mr. Boone even told us, you know, it's okay. We say we love each other.
And that's okay.
You know, so
That's okay.
We like a family ourselves, so we sharpen each other. If it's things that I might need extra help with or need an ear for, I would reach out to one of these guys and vice versa.
Love
So,
it.
yeah.
Love it.
And I think being a director, it made it easier for the rest of us because he's not prideful.
Yeah.
He if he doesn't know something or he needs something, he has no problem with saying, "Hey, I need help with this."
Yeah.
And we normally look to them because each one of us has a strength
I was
that is
just
stronger
getting
than the
ready.
next in a certain area.
Yes.
So we'll turn to that person, and then we
good.
get on the phone with each other, video, or we meet up, and we just say, "Hey, man, this is what's going on," and we try to talk our way through it. And again, we don't claim to know all of the answers, but between us, we come up with good enough answers
So
to get to
good.
the next stage.
Absolutely.
And I think that's where that and Saturday mornings are my rejuvenation. I'm not going to even lie to you, and it's not something I'm saying just to say. I think all of the men here will safely say the same thing.
That's good.
When we leave there on Saturdays, whether it's 2 hours after the meeting or 4 hours because we got gym
good.
on that day,
Seriously.
we are rejuvenated and we ready to do the next thing. And we're already talking about what's next week when we need to get together. What do we see? What do we need to change? So that's we're growing from that.
You
And-
know
and
what's
that's
so
what it's
amazing?
about.
I just have to say this because, man, in this circle, just right here, I'm saying if you need your flat changed or some help with that, or you need some help with the lawn, or you got to get the kid to school, I'm just saying this is what I see. So when we hear people say brotherhood, this is what brotherhood looks like. And
yeah,
you know
And
what I mean?
You're right, and speak on that. Like that's what we offer with our boys and their parents too. So,
That is
it
so
was a
beautiful.
time when it was cold outside, freezing, and through our mentor chain that we have,
Come on
a
here.
parent needed a jump to get to work. So we through messaging
Got
and
it
we
done.
found the available mentor that was able to go and
Man.
get her a jump for
I
a
love
car.
it.
So things like that, we try to be that extension.
Look,
Seriously.
I'm like, I don't have any kids, but can I call?
Right, right.
If I need some help,
Right, right.
you know,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
the first one
Oh,
on
yeah.
Facebook. Like, anybody know somebody? And so this is so cool to know somebody that knows somebody, but to know somebody that knows somebody that cares.
Yes, and
It's
that's
a
the
big
biggest
deal.
thing.
Yes,
That's the biggest thing.
about our community.
We definitely want
Love
to
it.
thank the organization, but every one of you who are part of the organization, the kids, the children, the young men, the parents who transport the young men and support the young men. We want to thank everybody who is a part of this. We ask that you keep an eye on the Building Kings mentoring group. Again, they've got some information coming. Check out their Facebook page. We ask that you join us tomorrow and Thursday evening as we will be live again at 8:30. So again, thank you all for being here.
Yes.
Thanks for having
Thank you
us.
all.
Awesome.
We will see you tomorrow,
Wow.
and we do remind you to
Exciting.
always protect your mind. Good night.
Yep.
Beautiful.
That was good.
A podcast by Neutral Voices Media Group. In the Know.